Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Mark Boulis, and for my entrepreneurial experience this semester, I have been working on my Green Auto Innovations project. So, just to give you a little background, Green Auto Innovations is going to be a company that seeks to find ways to make cars both more environmentally friendly as well as more cost effective. And throughout the semester, I've been doing a lot of research, meeting with a lot of people to get insight, and I actually have a meeting this week with Mark Thompson to try to see if I can get this idea installed here at Quinnipiac. So, first of all, what exactly is the problem itself? The problem, obviously, that we're dealing with, the biggest problem is harm to the environment from cars. As you can see in this picture, harmful emissions, gas fumes coming out of cars are ruining the environment. They're ruining the ozone layer, and it's making it very difficult for us to continue to use the same sources of fuel that we're using. And obviously, the more practical issue at hand here is the cost of gas. As you can see by this picture, it really costs a lot of money to operate a vehicle, literally an arm and a leg, if you will. Gas prices have been rising for the past 10, 20 years, and I think they're going to keep going up because of the lack of supplies. And so the issues we're trying to address are how can we make cars more environmentally friendly while at the same time saving the customer money? So the answer to this question is something called LPG, which stands for liquid propane gas, which is essentially a fancy way of saying propane. Most of you have used propane in the past. It's often used to heat homes. Most common use of it is in tanks that people put under their grills. That's propane gas. Basically, what propane is it's a byproduct of natural gas that you get at the gas station. And what I mean by that is when oil refineries bring gas to the factory, in the process of making it natural gas, propane is a byproduct of it. So as you can see on the left here, propane, isobutane, and butane are all byproducts of natural gas, and propane happens to be the most stable of all of them. It has the highest burning temperature, which means that it's extremely safe because it's very, very hard for it to naturally combust, and it is also very easy to store because when you put it in a condensed gas form, it's much easier to store in a tank. So and propane is also much more environmentally friendly. When you burn propane, obviously you grill with it, so the emissions that it releases are non-toxic and non-harmful, so it is much better for the environment. So basically what Green Auto does is we install LPG conversion kits into your car, and these are biofuel systems. So what I mean by that is when you install the kit into the car, you allow your vehicle to run on both propane and natural gas. So if your car runs out of propane, you can flip a switch and immediately switch over and run on gas like you would any other day. With LPG, you have better fuel economy. It's also cheaper cost of operation because the price of propane per gallon is more than $1 cheaper than a price of gas at the gas station. And as I previously mentioned, and I'll go into more detail later, it is obviously less harmful emissions to the environment. So just to give you a basic idea of what it looks like, say this is your vehicle. If you look closely, you will see in the very back, in the trunk, most times is where we will put the tank, and it'll have a little gas cap right next to your regular gas cap where you can fill it with propane rather. In the tank is a multi-valve which will force feed the propane through that little red wire or tube, if you will, that'll take it to the engine. When it gets there, it goes to a fuel switch and then through a filter, and then the filter puts it through a vaporizer, which changes it from liquid form into gas form. And then there's an electronic management unit which controls everything. It's kind of like an ECU. And then the mixer pretty much puts it through smaller tubes that enter into each valve. And there you go. You got a car that runs on both propane and natural gas. And then this is an actual image that I took of a car that we installed the kit in already. That's pretty much what the tank looks like. As you can see, it's pretty large, so it'll hold a good amount of propane, but at the same time, it doesn't completely ruin all of your space. It's still very practical. You can still use the trunk. Because propane is is a high pressure gas. The tank is made of very, very strong stainless steel metal, so it's very hard to damage. So you can throw your golf clubs in the back and nothing will happen to the tank. So these are kind of mock-ups of what a fueling station for LPG would look like. As you can see at the top, they look like propane tanks. I have one at home that heats my house. That's literally what it looks like. There would be a couple of them under the ground, and obviously they would just fill in. It looks like any other gas station. You would pull up and fill in the same way. And then on the bottom there, it's the same concept. The only difference is I just wanted to illustrate that this is a very, very good idea for fleets. As you can see there, those are taxi cars. The main target that we're trying to target are fleets because if you can convert a large amount of cars at the same time, you save money over a shorter amount of time. Your return on investment is much bigger and much quicker. Um, so that's kind of those are ideas that I've seen, and then this is ultimately what I would like our LPG station to look like. This is a small one. This would be, for example, my idea of bringing it to Quinnipiac. This is what Quinnipiac's LPG gas station would look like over in facilities. The tanks can be refilled once a month whenever they need to be. It's very easy. A truck just pulls up and fills them up, and you have the one pump where public safety can pull up and fill up their tank whenever they need to. So back to saving the environment, because that's one of our two biggest goals next to saving money, is these are just some facts that I got. So running your car on propane, it's 50% less carbon monoxide emissions. It's 40% less hydrocarbon emissions. It's 35% less nitrogen oxides. And the biggest statistic is it's 50% less ozone forming potential compared to gasoline. And these are all statistics from the World LP Gas Association, which is a very well-renowned association. So these are real facts. And aside from saving the environment, you also save money. You pay the upfront cost of having the kit installed, but then from then until the life of the car, essentially, you save $1 on every gallon of gas that you fill up. And over time, that quickly adds up and you quickly make that money back. And from that point on, once you make the money that you invested back, you just save money every time you fill up. It's much cheaper, it's much more environmentally friendly. Overall, it just makes a lot of sense. So where my project is headed from here is my first target market is Quinnipiac's Public Safety. Public Safety has 7 vehicles that they employ. There are those nice Fords there up there on the right, if you see next to Chief Barger. And then basically my idea is to make all those vehicles run on propane to install the conversion kits in them. Public Safety would save an immense amount of money, and it would also make us a much greener campus. And then if you look down there on the left, that is actually a police car in Europe that's running on propane. The US, for whatever reason, is really lagging behind Europe in this. Europe has tons of fleets that operate on this, and I see no reason why Quinnipiac's Public Safety can't do the same thing. And likewise, other police fleets and other public safety fleets and other university facilities. So that's where my project is heading. I have a meeting to see if the university would be interested in this. And just in conclusion, don't forget LPG. You lower your costs, you protect the environment, and go green with Green Auto Innovations. Thanks.